large bouquet, a $250 bouquet. You know, how are you going to make that portable because you're kind of stuck with inside the cage? Well, our developers were very smart in creating a hinging suspension ring, and you can see by this that it has fingers that go around, there's 8 of them, that go around and hold this suspended over a different size, a larger size vase opening. And so, as florists know that you green up your vase, you put greens and ferns and lemon leaves and things like that in before you put your flowers in. So with this situation here, we put greens around the outside and then we put them inside the vase or inside the cage. And then at the end of it, we can open it up and then wrap the stems, and we can have stems outside the cage as well as inside. By the time you build outside the cage, you've created such a weave of stems because of what you've created on the inside of this cage that the others will weave into it very nicely and hold themselves in place. You've created a stable environment for them to work on the outside and weave into place. So that is great because you can create a very large arrangement. One of the florists I talked to said, well, you know, I have a couple of estates that I work on, and they have vases that are so expensive that I go over and pick them up and bring them back to to my shop, and then all of a sudden, you know, somebody leans against one, and I'm thinking, oh, gee, they just about broke a $10,000 vase. And she said, oh, would it be wonderful if I could build a big arrangement and put in there, just bring it over in a bucket and just put it right in. I know the size, I know the shapes, I know the this and that of these particular vases of the estates that I handle and stuff. So there are some people that will enjoy it because of if they service estates as well. And estates oftentimes have bigger vases than just what's inside this cage here. So, so you do have the chance to build an 8-inch wide vase and still create a beautiful bouquet. I showed you how, of course, the rubber band went in on the solid suspension ring. Pretty elemental, pretty easy. This is also very elemental, very easy. The suspension ring has been designed with 2 pieces, and there's a way they fit together very nicely like this, and there are 3 little pegs that go into 3 holes here, square peg and a round hole, so it's tight enough that it holds itself together, but when it comes time that you need to separate it and pull it away from the bouquet that's been created, that it pulls out very easily, no problem at all. But there are 2 out of the 8 legs. 2 out of the 8 legs are actually built with a channel in them, so that the rubber band will go down the channel. And there's one way that goes in. You have to go kind of sideways, and the hole over here is very tight, so that the rubber band doesn't slip out. And so you put the rubber band through that hole, and then you make sure it goes down that channel, and you tighten it up so that channel, you know, so that it's there, and then make sure that it's loose enough over on this side that it doesn't pull the thing up out of the way, and there you go. Now when you build the bouquet, see, I have right here, there are 2 rubber bands coming out of this one here, and we're using both channels. The thought being that 1 rubber band would be just absolutely fine for a bouquet made inside the cage. That's just inside the cage. 1 rubber band is absolutely fine. Never found a situation where it couldn't hold everything together just fine. But when you start building outside the cage and you build a very big bouquet, and that's great because you'll be able to build up to a $300 bouquet or something with this cage. But as you build out beyond here, we think that it needs a little bit more rubber band strength to make sure that it's really strong and really held in place. So that's why we've created 2 channels here for 2 rubber bands to come out and be, you know, both of them are attached, as I showed you before, to the bottom of this cage. We do that because after it's all done and we pull it out, you know, and we want to wrap it around, that's not the time to try to start weaving a rubber band in there to get it into a place where it's stable and can also be used. Some people would be perfectly fine with saying, well, it doesn't matter because when I pull this out, I have stems hanging down. I'll just take a rubber band, bring it in one stem, and then bring it around a few times and then attach it. And that works okay too if you want to do that after it's all over, and especially if you've forgotten to do something like that. But by attaching it to the bottom of this, it actually gets it a little bit higher, the rubber band a little bit higher than lower if you try to do it yourself afterwards by trying to grab one stem and weaving it around. So it looks better, and it's real strong because it's already attached to the bottom of a piece of plastic that's not going to break in the process of wrapping the stem especially. So that's the way this particular system works.